To the coronavirus pandemic, and new data shows more than 1 million children, includes infants and teenagers, in the U.S. have been diagnosed with COVID-19 since the pandemic began. 1 million. Liza Lucas joining us now from the 11 Alive Bridge. And Liza, experts think the numbers could be even higher?
That's right. That's what pediatricians think, and that's based on the fact that kids' cases tend to be mild, so likely could go unnoticed in some cases. Now, what we saw last week was a record number of kids infected in the U.S., nearly 112,000. That's according to new data from the American Academy of Pediatrics and Children's Hospital Association. Now, while severe complications are rare among children, they are possible. And experts say there's a new urgent need for a nationwide strategy to control the pandemic to protect children, families, and communities. In fact, the AAP is pushing for public health officials to study the long-term effects on the pandemic in kids, and that includes the emotional, the mental toll these kids are facing as the months of pandemic wage on. We've been focusing on some of the numbers here in Georgia. I was looking those up this morning. More than 36,000 cases for kids here in our state. That represents about 9% of the total cases. We've had more than 500 kids be hospitalized once infected with COVID-19. And Peter brings up this point. So what if the infected kids have older parents in the high-risk group? A lot of people talking about who is around these kids, even if they have mild cases. And that is the concern of Lyrical Flow and others we're hearing from on our page. Weigh in on this conversation. Let us know how you feel. Use that hashtag Morning Rush ATL.